Alright guys, after opening that eBay purchase, we're going to look at some of the Core 21 spoilers. Talk about them real quick, go over them. We've got Brash Taunter, Goblin Indestructible 1/1. It's a pretty good card. Having an Indestructible 1/1 for 5, I mean 5 seems like a lot, but you can definitely do some damage.
Oh yeah, his ability's nice.
He's indestructible. Whenever Brash Taunter is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent. And then it has a fight mechanic for 3. So you can definitely run it into some big things and get some damage done.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if goblins would run it or not with it being such a big casting cost though.
Yeah, I doubt it sees any like major play in any format really. It's kind of just a pet card, kind of fun.
It'd be something that people build some silly decks around.
Oh yeah.
Then we've got Chandra, Heart of Fire, 5-drop Planeswalker. Comes in with 5 loyalty. +1 is discard your hand, then exile the top 3 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may play cards exiled this way. So, not quite a draw engine, but it gets you some cards. Another +1 is Chandra deals 2 damage to any target. So you get a built-in shock. And then -9. Search your graveyard and library for any number of red instants and sorcery cards, exile them, then shuffle your library. You may cast them this turn. Add 6 red mana.
Oh wow.
So it's not too bad. I doubt people are going to let you get it to 9, but who lets any Planeswalker get all the way?
Yeah, usually you don't play a Planeswalker for its ultimate anyways. It's usually the first 2 abilities. I mean, some people do play them for the ultimates, but most of the time you're not reaching them, and it's not like competitively you don't look for the ultimate. But Chandra coming back is pretty nice. It's definitely better than Jaya Ballard and some of the other red Planeswalkers.
Tybalt,
yeah.
And we got another Goblin Rogue now. It's a 2 red mana. Play with the top card of your library revealed. You may cast Goblin spells from the top of your library. As long as the top card of your library is a Goblin card, Conspiracious Snoop has all activated abilities of that card. It's definitely a really good, fast Goblin. You're going to be able to start just rotating cards off the top of your deck playing them.
Oh, yeah. Any Goblin deck's going to want this here. It's probably going to be a staple in EDH Goblin decks.
Every Krinko deck is going to have it.
Yeah. Even maybe like Legacy Goblins, maybe. I might be too slow, but then again, being able to play goblins from the top of your library when your hand's depleted is wonderful.
Alright. And then going into white, we've got Contaminate Priest.
This is a reprint here.
Yep, definitely a good card though. 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 white for a 2/2 flash. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. Definitely deals with some of the token decks and different issues.
Well, it don't hit the token decks because it says non-token. Yeah. So, like the token decks are fine around this, but I mean,
it would hurt Dredge.
It hurt like Reanimator decks. I mean, it's a pretty solid card. I mean,
Defense of the Heart, Tooth and Nail.
Yeah, anything like that where you're putting cards into play for free.
No cheating. No cheating cards in is what they're getting to.
Yep, so white got a pretty good playable there.
And then we've got a blue instant discontinued. I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm just going to call it discontinue.
There you go.
Because that's what I'm going to call it when we're going to play against it.
It's a 6-drop, 3 colorless, 3 blue. But as long as it's your turn, the spell costs 4 less to cast, 2 colors, 2 blue, and it ends turn.
So. Yeah, it's a instant sundial.
So not too bad.
No. Like competitive EDH, that I mean that's still too slow maybe. But maybe if you get in a long game and someone tries to combo off with like Thassa's Oracle and
which
Consultation.
Is a big problem now that Flash is banned.
Yeah.
Every combo deck seems to be Thassa for the win.
But. Oh yeah, Thassa and anything to get rid of your graveyard and it's over.
And then we've got Elder Gargartha, a 5-drop 6/6 Vigilance Reach Trample. Whenever he attacks or blocks, choose one. Create a 3/3 green beast, gain 3 life, or draw a card. Definitely a really powerful card. Even in standard for a 5-drop, it's gonna probably see some play.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a staple in anything running green.
Yep.
Creatures wise, it's just gonna be in every deck. I mean, it does everything you want it to do.
It's got so many keywords: Vigilance, Reach, Trample as a 6/6.
Yep. I mean, if you're hurting for life and you attack, you can gain life. And then use him to block.
The vigilance you get at every turn.
I mean, it's that card there. You just want to exile. You see that card, just exile it.
Exile or counter it. Just don't even let it come out.
Yeah.
And we got a reprint of Fabled Passage. I mean, everyone likes the land bases being better, but it would have been nice to see maybe some fetches.
Yeah, something different. I mean, Fabled Passage just came out, 2 sets ago?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it ain't like it's rotating out anytime soon. I mean, it's a great card. I mean, I love it myself. I mean,
yeah.
Run it in standard, play it in EDH. I mean, especially in like monocolored decks or 2-color decks where like Simic only has 2 lands you can fetch, or technically 3.
Along with Fabled Passage, they're doing the Scry land cycle again for 21. That's a little disappointing.
Yeah.
Still having it right now.
Yeah, another set that just came out a couple sets ago in Theros. It's the same ones. I figured we would get the opposite ones, but
no. Yeah, they could have even just done the opposite colors. Maybe people would have been happy, but
yeah, this here seems like a oopsie or something. Wizards really kind of dropped the ball on that one.
All right, and then we've got the 6-drop red enchantment, Fiery Emancipation. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to that permanent or player instead. Definitely going to probably see play in Commander, any Torbrand decks, Neheb, any just quick red decks are going to end up playing it.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a finisher for a red deck. I mean, you get up to 6 mana in red, if you ain't won the game, you're about to win the game or you're about to lose, one of the two.
Or if you get it out pretty early, Pyretic Rituals and the other ritual and get it out like on a turn 3 or something, I mean, your damage is just going to be it's going to be crazy.
And like Commander, you can always run like what's the creature when it dies, exile it and put an enchantment into play. I can't think of their name. From Urza block. Oh man.
But definitely a good card. I mean, 3 times damage, and that's going to stack with other ones, so you could potentially lightning bolt someone for 18 if you've got 2 different enchantments out.
Oh yeah.
So definitely good for pinger decks too.
Yeah.
Then we got Glorious Anthem. Everyone knows Glorious Anthem. I hope creatures you control get +1/+1, white enchantment.
Yep, another reprint.
Nothing too big to say about that.
No.
Here's another good reprint we're getting that definitely needed one. Heroic Intervention. The 2-drop permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible. It's not a Teferi's Protection, but for green, it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's real good. EDH players ate it up.
Yep.
And now standard players will probably see it a little bit more.
I run it in Sisay.
Yeah.
It's just a good card to have.
Oh yeah. If someone goes to blow up your creatures, you can blow up everybody else's but mine.
If they spoil Teferi's Protection, it'd be a great overall set. That would be.
Oh man, they spoil that sometime soon. This set's already ridiculous.
We haven't even got into the money cards yet.
Yeah.
All right, we got Idol of Endurance. It's a 3-drop artifact. When Idol of Endurance enters the battlefield, exile all creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard until it leaves the battlefield. Pay 2, tap it. Until end of turn, you may cast a creature spell from among cards exiled with Idol without paying its mana cost. So, definitely going to probably see some play in graveyard and dredge decks. You can throw some stuff in there pretty big and then just throw it out for 2. It's not a creature, so it doesn't even come in with summoning sickness or anything.
Yeah, it's
and it's going to cast. It's not putting into play, so you get cast triggers for something you probably weren't able to cast at that point.
Yeah, I mean, with them having to cost 3 or less, though, I mean, they limited it. I mean, if it didn't cost 3 or less, I mean, you could just dump your Eldrazi's and then cast them for 2. That would be totally busted. I could see some EDH decks. I don't know about any standard play for this card. EDH, it's going to be a fun card to play with, especially if you like sacrificing your creatures.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the new rule change in Commander where the death trigger and exile triggers happen.
Yep.
So a lot of reanimator and death trigger effects are going to be in play. So,
and with it being an artifact, there's lots of ways to untap artifacts.
Yeah.
Get multiple casts a turn for...
Oh yeah, there's very many ways.
And then we've got the Recluse, Human Druid for 2/1/2. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/2 green cat creature token. Pay 6. Until end of turn, creatures you control have base power and toughness 6/6, where X is the number of cards in your hand. I mean, that's alright. I mean, you definitely have to be building around it to be like, oh, I've got tons of cards in my hand at all time to use that well.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be just a fun card. I don't see it being too competitive in like standard or none. EDH decks will play it. I mean, especially if you like cat decks.
I mean, it might see play in standard if there's still good cycle decks.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's about the only thing. I don't think it would see much play for its second ability.
No, the second ability there is just kind of just one of the. I mean,
the second one's more commander.
Relevant. Yeah, it might become relevant like late game commander or something, but late game standard, I mean, 6 mana. You're probably a lot of times emptying out your hands.
Yeah, definitely be good in a green token deck. Well, ramp up, get a ton of little 1/1s out, and late game commander, just turn them all into like 14/14s if you can sack some stuff with greater good, draw a whole bunch of cards.
Oh yeah.
And then we've got the legendary Human Warlock. 4-drop, 3/2, other creatures get -1/-1.
That's funny. That looks like Sarkin on fire.
It does.
I mean, the art's pretty cool. Other creatures get -1/-1 is.
We'll probably find out it's Sarkin's brother or something.
Yeah, it's his twin or something. He's the next planeswalker coming out for black.
So not too bad. I don't know what else you could pair it with to make it better. I mean,
-1/-1. I mean, it shuts down a lot of token decks. I mean,
yeah. If you're playing black-white,
yeah,
you could play Elish Norn and everything's going to be -3/-3.
Man, that's a lot to try to overcome.
Yeah.
A lot of creatures just come in and die.
Then we've got one of the bigger reprints, Ugin the Spirit Dragon. 8-drop, comes in at 7. +2 is a lightning bolt. -X. Exile each permanent with converted mana cost X or less if it's 1 or more colors. And then -10, you gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, put up to 7 permanents from your hand onto the battlefield. It's a pretty good card.
Yeah,
Ugin, it definitely needed a reprint. It was upwards of $50, I think, before the reprint.
Oh yeah, Ugin's going to see standard play with a lot of the ramp that's out right now.
And they did some alternate art Ugins that I think look pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some art that is pretty nice for Ugin.
The full art blue one is really nice. The alternate frame one, that's pretty cool.
The alternate frame on all of them, all the planeswalkers I've seen, I think I like them better than the full arts.
Yeah.
I mean, just the frame style being different, I mean, it's pretty cool. Having no frame with the full arts is cool, but that frame is sweet.
And we got a 4-drop white for Basri's Lieutenant. It's a 3/4 human knight, vigilance, protection from multicolor. Whenever the Lieutenant enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever Basri's Lieutenant or another creature you control dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter on it, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. It's definitely a hard card to get rid of and deal with unless you just exile it pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few exile mechs in standard, but I mean, he's going to be a pretty decent card. I mean,
Yeah.
Black White Knights was like maybe tier 2 in standard. I mean, they can pull off some wins. They're getting a little bit of firepower at the top end here, what it looks like. I mean, being protection of multicolor, I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, Teferi can't bounce it.
No.
You know, it would have had Pro Oko, but Oko's banned.
Pro Oko, that's the thing. Not even colors, just Pro Oko.
Yeah.
All right, then we got another one of the very big announcements that people have been excited about: the Grim Tutor reprint. 3-drop, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, shuffle your library, you lose 3 life. It's not the best Black Tutor. It's probably not even the second or third best Black Tutor, but it was printed in a starter set years ago that was not very popular, didn't have a big print run, so it's definitely a card that's hard to come across. The value right now is about $180 for the old one. With this being in a standard core set, I'm going to say probably $20 or $30 is probably where to land.
Yeah, for the standard foil or standard non-foil, probably about $25-$30.
When you're talking about the full arts or alternate arts, I mean, it's going to be different.
Yeah, it's hard telling. I mean, this card is the first card I seen spoiled for the set, and I didn't believe it. I thought it was fake at first. I think a lot of people did. And, you know, it was really a big surprise to get a card that old printed. I mean, it needed a print.
It did.
I mean, Commander players are happy. I mean, I don't know if standard or modern or maybe even Pioneer would see any play, but I know Commander players going to love it. I mean, with Vampiric Tutor going up to $100 and Demonic Tutors 30-ish.
Starting to trickle back up after its reprint just 3 months ago.
Yeah, so this is going to be a great card for Commander players to pick up, and it's going to be budget wise, you know, pretty cheap.
Yep. All right, and then we've got the 1-drop mill. It's a 1/1 human rogue flash. Whenever Thieves, Guild Enforcer, or another rogue enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 2 cards. For all those people that like playing mill for Commander, it'll probably see play. It could possibly see play in Standard if there's some other mill cards.
Yeah, I don't really see it seeing much play. I mean, really, I mean, the payoff to it is it gets +2/+1 if the opponent has 8 or more cards in the graveyard, and it gets Death Touch split at 2. So you're getting a 3/2
for 1
Death Touch for 1 that they gotta have 8 cards in their graveyard. It's not bad for 1. I mean, but I guess it's a great trick.
Black red Goblin Rogue. The other Goblin's Rogue.
Yeah. You never know. You never know what these.
We still don't know what else is coming out.
Yeah, so you never know what happens.
And then we've got the Llanowar Visionary, the 3-drop 2/2. Whenever it enters, draw a card and taps for 1. It's basically just 2 different elf cards into 1 card.
Yeah, they literally merged Llanowar Elf and Elvish Visionary.
Yep, they just made it 1 card and kind of smushed the name together.
Added the cost, added both abilities and their power and toughness together, so everything's together there.
Yeah,
I mean it's a cool card.
The art's pretty cool too.
Yeah, the art's pretty cool. I mean, I don't see it seeing any play probably anywhere. It'd be pretty good in sealed.
It'd be good in maybe sealed, maybe an elf deck for Commander.
Yeah, maybe. And like if you was playing budget or something, it'd be pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of elves you got to choose from to make a elf deck, so it might not make the cut, but you never know. So I want to try it out.
And then we got Basri as the Planeswalker, 3-drop for 3. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Definitely a good +1 ability. -2, whenever 1 or more non-token creatures attacks this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. Definitely a pretty good finisher early on if you're playing an early run deck.
Like a white leaning aggro deck would be.
If you've got a whole bunch of just 1/1s out there already attacking, you basically double your whole army.
1-drop, then 2-drop, then him, swing, putting more out on the play. I mean, you can activate him when you drop him, possibly 2 or 3 other creatures attacking
Yeah.
with it. I mean, you leave him wide open to get killed, but
And then as Neg 6, you get an emblem with at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, then put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. It's not bad for only being a +6. Maybe see some play.
yeah, you never know. I mean, he's not bad. I mean, you still got I can't think of the other planeswalker that's a 3-drop white one now. Gideon, Gideon Blackblade or whatever its name is. It's pretty decent, but it's not seeing any play in standard right now either.
And then we've got the new Teferi, Master of Time. 4-drop, comes in with 3/+1, draw a card, then discard a card. Not too bad. Is -3. Target creature you don't control phases out. So they're bringing back phasing for all the people that haven't been used to it. It's coming back. It hasn't been around in years.
Yeah.
And is -10, which is just absurd. Take 2 extra turns after this one.
Yeah, this card here, don't forget the static ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You may activate loyal abilities of Teferi, Master of Time, on any player's turn, anytime you can cast an instant.
So he's going to come in, draw you a card, basically select what you want to get rid of,
Yep.
and then he's going to protect himself.
Yep.
I mean, turn 4, I mean, you're probably turn 3 in this card in standard with the, the Simic ramp decks and stuff. But turn 4, at latest, you play him, draw a card, pitch a card, and then whatever attacks him, you make phase out.
Can you imagine Commander if he stays on the board
Oh,
just for one turn cycle?
Yeah, he stays on the board for 1 turn cycle. He ultimates almost. I mean, you play Dublin season and go 1 turn with him.
Yep. Or any kind of proliferate.
Yeah, you're probably not. Your opponents are probably not getting another turn. I mean, it's just nasty. He starts out with Dublin season. He starts out with 6.
Yep.
You go to your next opponent's turn. There's 4. There's 2 more getting on. There's 8.
Yep.
So by the time it gets back to your turn, you can ultimate
You're going to get
him.
3 turns in a row.
Yeah, you can ultimate him and keep on going ultimating him. This is just nasty. This card probably going to be banned in standard. It's like they're pushing the envelope, and they pushed it. I mean, I love the card myself. I'm going to be playing it as much as possible. And
definitely going to be a good card.
Yeah, Grand Abolisher is going to see a lot of play in Commander now because of this here.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that stops him.
And then we got some of the new basic lands with the alternate borders and frames. I actually like them. I think they look really nice.
Yeah, I like that they're doing something different with the lands. And
Definitely
all
making
these
the
sets.
basics a little better than just what everyone's used to.
There's no need for making them just plain Jane.
I like the mountain.
The mountain looks
how
like
it's on fire.
Yeah, the mountain's sweet. I've only seen the 4. The blue, the red, the white, and the black. I've not seen the green yet.
The green either. All right. Then we've got Massacre Worm, another good Commander reprint that people are excited about.
Oh yeah, this is.
It definitely needed it.
Yeah, it's hard to get. It's one of them sets that came out that wasn't a huge print run, and it's a mythic, so
I don't think it'll see really much play in standard unless there's some way to cheat it in being a 6-drop.
Yeah, maybe a ram deck or something will do it. You never know.
Green black ramp.
Yeah.
And then we got the 5-drop Baneslayer, which I don't think has had a reprint since back in Worldwake time.
Yeah, it's a cool card. I mean,
5/5 flying, first strike, lifelink, pro demons and dragons.
Yeah, it's definitely something. I don't know if it necessarily needed a reprint, but I'm not disagreeing with it. I mean, it's something cool. It gives the EDH players something.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives some new players that didn't play back then that didn't want to pay. I forget her price, maybe like $12 right now or something like that.
She was pretty expensive when she was in standard because one of the tier 1 decks was Eldrazi Conscription.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty solid deck and worked out. We'll see if they do anything with it this time. All right, and then we got Mangara the Diplomat. 4-drop, 2/4, lifelink. Whenever an opponent attacks with a creature, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking, you or a planeswalker you control draw a card. It's definitely going to shut down aggro decks a little bit early on. And whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. So all in all, it's definitely a pretty good draw engine for white. And anyone that's casting multiple spells or attacking, You're definitely going to get some card advantage off of this.
Oh yeah, I think him and the new Heliod and some stuff and for standard will be pretty good. White Weenie might be really good. I mean,
Yeah.
you attack out.
And that.
Yeah, you can attack out, and if they want to attack you, you're just going to draw cards to replace what they're killing or what they're blowing up. So
then we got a pack leader, 2-drop 2/2. This is a dog. Other dogs you control get +1/+1. Whenever pack leader attacks, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn to dogs you control. So I guess we're gonna start having a dog tribal, cat tribal.
Yeah. They changed a lot of cards from hound to dog.
Yeah.
So they're kind of generalizing a lot more cards. Kind of saving confusion on some stuff.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool because this is the first time I think they really made dog a type.
Yeah, I haven't seen it before that I can remember.
Yeah, so I mean that's cool. It gives commander players another tribe to play with. I mean, there's a few in this set that
what dog is going to be the dog overlord.
Yeah, well, I think we see it in this set.
All right, and then we got Primal Might. X and a green, target creature you control gets +X/+X until end of turn. Then it fights up to one target creature you don't control. That's a pretty easy pump spell.
Yeah. It's not too bad. I don't see it seeing really much play.
It could be a finisher at some point in a long commander game. Someone might not have a way to stop it.
Yeah.
It could even be alright in standard and some ramp decks.
I think limited, it's a pretty good surprise. Yeah. I mean, especially it's the last card you're drawing your top deck in. You got 8 lands out. You're giving your guy +7/+7 and fights. Most stuff ain't living through the +7/+7.
No. It'd be much better if it was an instant. Kind of hurts that it's a sorcery.
If it was an instant, that
no combat tricks with it. Kind of.
Yeah, and I think the power level for that's about where it should be though. Instant would make it nasty.
And then we got Chromatic Orrery. A 7-drop legendary artifact. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color, so it's got a chromatic lantern ability. It taps to add 5 generic, so that's pretty big. And you can pay 5, tap it, draw a card for each color among permanents you control. So definitely something good for 5-color commander decks.
Oh yeah, this card's gonna be fun. I mean,
yep.
Ramping out to it's gonna be fun. Adding the 5 of any color you want.
Because really ramping up to it, once you get to 7, you're only losing 2 for that turn.
Yeah,
once you cast it.
Yeah, and then you can draw for each color among permanents you have for 5. I mean, if you're playing a 5-color deck, it's 5 draw 5.
Yeah.
So that's a cool card, pretty unique.
And then we got Mazed Mind Tome, 2-drop artifact. Put a page counter on Mazed Mind Tome, scry 1. So it's got a built-in scry effect, and then tap 2. Tap, put a page counter on it, and draw a card. So you got scry, you got draw. Whenever there are 4 more page counters, exile it. If you do, gain 4 life.
Yeah.
So you get a few uses out of it, and then you gain some life for a 2-drop artifact. It's not terrible.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I could see it's kind of like the what was that card that was just in standard? It flipped into a land and gave you I forget the name of it. This kind of reminds me of that. I can't think of the name of it.
And then we have our next dog, the Selfless Savior. 1/1 for 1. Sacrifice it. Another target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Definitely a nice white protection card, especially in Commander.
Oh, yeah.
Different stacks decks, and you can run Mother of Runes and all different kinds of other cards. This just gives you one other option. But it's a sack only, so it's not a tap.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It looks like it's going to be a F&M promo.
Yeah.
It gives the dogs more
versatility in dogs. The one thing, the flavor text just kind of gets you. She raised him from an orphan pup and gave him a life of love. With his last act, he thanked her.
So. Yeah, the flavor text on that was...
They're trying to get people there.
Yeah.
All right. And then we've got the new uncommon miscast counterspell. It's pretty good. 1 instant, counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays 3. Usually it's going to be something you're going to use in control battles when you're going back and forth to try to win at the end.
Yep, I can see this seeing play from everywhere, from modern, legacy, EDH,
I don't know if
standard.
it'll replace the spell or not, but it's definitely a good equal.
Yeah, it's definitely, it might actually see main board instead of sideboard.
Yeah.
Just because, like, you got the dredge decks, you've got the storm decks that are trying to go off, and they got to cast that instant or sorcery to do it. And if you have ability to tap that mana down where they can't do nothing, they're just stuck.
All right, and then we got the Azurius Legendary Human Cleric 2/1 Flash. When Niambi Esteemed Speaker enters the battlefield, you will return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, gain life equal to that creature's converted mana cost. It's got a tap ability for 3. Tap, discard a legendary card, draw 2 cards. I mean, maybe you're playing a heavy legendary deck. I don't know how useful that's going to be.
I'm not, like, at the first, when I seen the card, I was like, oh, cool, new Azorius Commander.
Yeah.
And then I started reading it, and I was like, okay, Flash for 2, not bad. And then its abilities just, like, I mean, gaining life for bouncing your own creature. I mean...
And then discarding your own legendaries.
Yeah, it just kind of just mediocre to me.
Alright, and then we've got the Pursued Whale, 7-drop, 8/8. Pursued Whale enters the battlefield. Each opponent creates a 1/1 red pirate creature token with this creature can't block, and creatures you control attack each combat if able. Spells your opponents cast that target Pursued Whale cost 3 more to cast. I think it's going to end up just being your basic bulk rare.
Yeah, it feels like one of those starter deck
just something
rares
just
that they
real
give you a
big
foil. That seems cool to new players, but anybody that plays the game competitively or for a long time, really, I mean, it's cool. It gives your opponents a creature that can attack you.
Yeah.
It makes their creatures attack, but sometimes that turns around on you when they play a bunch of them and attack you.
Then we got a Solomon, the Sad Robot reprint, 4-drop, 2/2. Whenever he enters, search your library for basic, put it on the battlefield tapped. Whenever he dies, draw a card. But I actually like the art of it for this full art one.
Oh yeah, that's one of the cards that they've revealed that's going to have a full art, alter art, different than the actual card.
So I think the art reprint's going to be the good thing, and it's not a bad staple. A lot of Commander players run it.
I mean, it's easy to get a Solemn, but to get a foil Solemn is what is hard to do, and they're kind of pricey. So this might knock it down. I mean, the regular ones might be like $7-8, but the full art ones I could see being around 30s.
Yeah. And then we got a 5-drop Red Dragon, 5/4, Terror of the Peaks. Flying. Spells your opponent's cast that target Terror of the Peaks costs an additional 3 life to cast.
Oh, wow.
So definitely, it lightning bolts them anytime they try to target it. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So definitely a solid card to pair with the enchantment earlier that triples all your damage.
Oh, yeah.
You get this on board and that on board. Just dropping a 3/3 is 9 damage right off the top.
Oh yeah, and that's nuts. I mean,
so definitely could see some Commander play.
Oh yeah, I can see that being a EDH fun card. I mean, especially if you're playing just a bunch of creatures and you just want to throw them out there and just keep casting them, or bouncing them and flickering them in, because all it says is they got to enter the battlefield. So, I mean, you blink something infinite times and just kill somebody out, and they can't do nothing about it. So,
or if you're just playing a Torbrand deck, with the enchantment out and Torbrand out, you get a 1/1 token that comes in, and you're going to hit someone right there for 9, just off of a 1/1 token.
Yeah.
So create a few Goblin tokens, someone's dead.
Yeah, Hordland Outburst. Creates 3 of them. That's it. That's 27 damage
right there.
That's game over, unless you're playing EDH.
Yeah, and then by the time you got all that out, they're probably already pretty low anyways.
Yeah.
And then you got Transmogrify, 4-drop sorcery, exile target creature. That creature's controller reveals the top card of the library until they reveal a creature card. That player puts that card onto the battlefield, then shuffles.
Okay.
So it's basically just a
Chaos Warp.
Chaos Warp.
For one less, or for one more, and it's a sorcery.
Yeah.
So that's a cool card. I mean, that's something red really needs is exile effects.
Yeah,
like,
it's just an easy removal for red to try to deal with certain things.
Like Eldrazi's are a pain, and
Yeah.
an EDH for red.
Definitely sucks that it's only target creature.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if it targets artifacts or enchantments, because sometimes red needs it.
Yeah.
Alright guys, that's all the spoilers we've got for today. We're going to look at some double masters once they start finally releasing more. Everyone's seen the first initial 6 that they did to grab attention, but they haven't really been putting anything out. They've been focusing on 21 because it comes out in a few days. And we're going to keep doing our openings for the next few days. And then we're going to change over to Core 21 openings. And until then, we'll see you guys next time.
Yep, we'll see you on the next one.